What's happening, beautiful people of the internet? It is us, the DUDEPOOL Crew, back again with another episode of the DUDEPOOL Gamescast. I'm the host, with the most, the Dude 250, hanging out with my main man, Aliens Exist, the Taylor Sager. How the fuck are we today?
Great.
Excellent. We are, in fact, a man down for this show.
Man down.
We got a man down. Thoughts and prayers go out to Danny Peel. He's on his deathbed. We're not sure if he's going to make it out alive. He's got tonsillitis.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that you have zero chance of surviving.
No.
Danny, we love you. We hope you make it back for next week. If you don't, shit.
You're probably dead.
Yeah, you're probably dead. And our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. That being said, we'll carry on this week. We will push forward and soldier on. We have a show to do.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're going to talk about a game that's out currently, or at least there's a review out that we've seen. We have not played it yet,
No.
but I've played the first one extensively. Today, we're going to talk about Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Yeah, just basically what we're thinking about it, what it looks like to us at this stage, since we have not played it. We've just seen some gameplay and trailers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're excited about and what maybe we're not super excited about with what we've heard so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got any thoughts?
Well, if you haven't played Mirror's Edge at all, it's like a parkour. I don't know. It's a first-person kind of action adventure game. I guess there's puzzle elements to it. There's a lot of parkour, and then there's also combat, hand-to-hand combat. I don't think you use guns at all in this game. I think you did in the last game, didn't you?
In the first game, you definitely could use
Yeah.
guns. I
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't recommend it
No.
because the shooting sucked.
Yeah. So this one, it's all hand-to-hand to get through areas and jumping around and solving puzzles like that. That's basically what the games have been. It's very artistic. Lots of white and the use of red is really prevalent in those games.
Mm-hmm.
This one's looking similar in that respect.
Looks like a bit more color might be added. The
Yeah.
last one was very white and red heavy, and they used the red as a gameplay mechanic, sort of like to lure the player, like,
Yeah.
you run to the red. If you
Mhm.
think you can make the jump, if the ledge is red, you probably can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
the gameplay mechanic. But with what I'm seeing in the new one as opposed to the first one is that there's lots of other colors used, and it looks like, because of the second one we should mention is set up in more of an open world setting.
Yes.
Looks
Yeah,
like
it's
there's
not
different
linear.
sections of the city or whatever, and
Yeah.
one section had like these giant purple flags and
Yeah.
shit like that. Like there was just a bit more color and
Certainly.
stuff added. Looked a little darker too, whereas the first one was really whitewashed and bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very artistic in that style. It was like pretty much if you couldn't see it because it's so white, then you probably can't interact with it.
Yeah, which is kind of, at least especially when the first one came out, that was a huge breath of fresh air to me because
Yeah.
everything was using that like super gray
Mm-hmm.
style palette, like Years of War, you just faded out and washed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
Kill
was
zone and resistance.
like just a really clean, vibrant kind of a city or a world, and it kind of stood out a hell of a lot
Mhm.
from the other ones.
Yeah,
So that's
certainly.
cool. I really actually like that art style a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is fun. The parkour is done really well. It looks like again they're stepping it up with that parkour. The skills thing was kind of weird to me.
It looks weird, right? I didn't even know that was in the game until I saw the reviews and whatnot. How
Yeah.
there's skill building.
Yeah.
You essentially, the more you play, the more it's like any other fucking game these days. Has to have that RPG element. But it sounded like some of the abilities that you unlocked should have been unlocked from this jump. Like,
yeah, traversal abilities I think are kind of weird to have in your skill trees.
Sure. I would understand if it was like, oh, you can wall run, but you just upgraded your wall run and now you can do it
Yeah.
faster and higher and shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't look like it is like that. It looks
No.
like even from the skill tree that we saw, the quick turn feature was unlocked, which was like, that was one of the first things they teach you in the tutorial of the original game, I believe. You hit L1 or R1 or whatever and you do a quick 90-degree turn. Really fucking helped it, especially when you're trying to do time trials and shit like that.
Yeah, and that and like
Speed running.
the rolling and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
it's all unlocked in the skill tree, which is interesting, I suppose. I mean,
Yeah, the controls also looked somewhat janky, but I don't want to put that
Yeah.
on the controls because I do believe that was probably the player reviewing the game.
Yeah.
He didn't look super great at it. I've often wondered though, because I did find it was a little tough to be as fluid as I wanted to be with the controller.
Yeah.
Did it ever release on PC?
I think so. I think it was cross-platform.
Yeah, I might
everything.
want to play the second one on PC because I feel like I could turn that sensitivity up on the mouse and you could fucking whip around wherever you want, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems like an
Yeah.
advantage to me.
Yeah, it's a single-player game. It's not like you're going to be having an advantage over anybody else, but I mean, it would certainly feel a lot better.
Well,
But
no, because the cool part about the last game for me that gave it any kind of longevity was the speed running,
Yeah,
right? The time trials, and it would post your friends,
the leaderboards.
your
stuff,
leaderboards and shit too. And I was like, yeah, well, fuck you, take you down.
Yeah, that stuff was really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that game and like Dishonored, I think you can just kind of use them a little bit more to what they want to be on a computer.
Yeah,
You can map
I
them out a
definitely
little
found
bit
that
better.
in Dishonored. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks pretty cool. The combat again looks janky as fuck.
Yeah. I like.
Sounded like there was only a couple parts, even though he harped on it a little
Yeah.
bit. There was only a couple parts that
They lock you in.
they kind of lock you into an arena where you have to beat the shit out of a certain amount of number of people, and then you can carry on.
Mhm.
And that's a shame. I don't know why they felt. You know what? There's probably just some developer or like the group of developers that worked on the combat that are like, dude, we fucking nailed it this time. we gotta add this in there. They gotta kill at least 10 people to get past this section, just so that they witness how great our combat is.
Yeah.
And then, like, once the game came out, somebody pulled his head out of his own asshole, and we're like, dude, it's the biggest like flop part of the game.
Yeah. It seems like it's based mostly on your speed and your momentum, and to lock you into like a tiny little cube.
Yep.
Kind of restricts your movements with the character, so you can't really use the combat as the way it's meant to be used. It looks like you're supposed to just do like hit and runs with this chick,
Maybe, yeah. And that's kind of how I played the first one anyway. Like, I'd run up if a guy had a gun, and I'd just drop kick the gun out of his hand and just take off. I wouldn't fight him. I'd just get the fuck out of there because you're a runner, not a fighter. And that makes sense to me in this game too, except for those couple parts that he did mention, like lock me in a room and force me to combat people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just dumb.
Yeah, but they do that in all these games now. But
They do that in a lot of games. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it's just a gameplay mechanic, a thing to slow it down maybe, or
It's,
something like that.
cheap way to get an extra 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The gameplay maybe.
Yeah.
Make it from 5 hours to 5.5.
Yeah, in one little room too.
I should say I don't know how long the fucking campaign is. It's probably longer than 5 hours. I don't know.
I would imagine that it is. Yeah, it sounds like the storyline isn't really anything to write home about though, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does, because there's definitely there's a lot to work with there in terms of writing.
There's room there for it to be a really, really good story. I mean, like Homefront isn't like a great game, but the storylines that they do in Homefront is always pretty intense. And I feel like they could do something that's really intense with Mirror's Edge, and that same
It doesn't
sort of
sound like
style.
the new Homefront has a very good story.
No?
No, it sounds like it's pretty weak. The first one was cool, but they had that awesome writer attached to it who wrote Red Dawn, and it was basically just Red Dawn
Right.
all over again.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they could do like a gritty, it seems like this is like a conspiracy sort of storyline.
More like
from what they could
Illuminati-esque, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like the evil corporation
Yeah.
taking over the whole city and controlling everything and all information.
It's like
Seems very Illuminati-esque.
it's like future Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
with,
future
like,
Creed.
with the Templars to have taken over or whatever, and now you're just like a runner running around. Yeah, I feel like they could get a really good story out of that world or whatever. You know?
Sure, oh, absolutely.
The potential is there, but I don't think that they're really paying too much attention to it right now. I think that they're focusing more on the gameplay, which is probably something that they should do.
Yeah, always. I'm definitely a gameplay first kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
It is always nice to have a pretty awesome, tangible story to grab onto, though.
Yeah, especially in a game like that where you're pretty much just running from like A to B or whatever, right? Like you want to have weight to
yeah, and it's dripping with so much style that
Yeah.
it begs to have a story to be told in its universe.
Yeah.
It really does, especially with just a city of underground free runners trying to win over the government.
it's like a
Sounds
revolution,
fucking cool to me, man.
Yeah, I like
Right?
it. Yeah, it's a cool game. I'm glad.
Apparently
that
the voice
they're
acting's
going along with it.
serviceable at least, and it's not
I'm sure. Yeah.
cringeworthy, as they say.
Yeah, the dialogue. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it was from what we heard was pretty bad.
What is that? It's art faith. That was a little cheesy.
But, yeah, it's fine. you get some pretty bad writing in games sometimes.
Yeah,
So.
again, we haven't played it, so I can't speak too much about that.
Yeah.
I will by the time this video posts, probably. Next paycheck.
Yeah, I
Pick
think
it
so.
up,
Yeah, it
because
comes
I
out
don't-
tomorrow or tonight.
Between Star Ocean and that, I think those are the only two games I really care about this month coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what else even comes out this month. What else does come out?
Everything else I threw away into the back of my mind, so it must not be that important.
Yeah, nothing hot and,
No.
and fresh. Yeah.
Nope.
But, yeah, this one.
I hope the soundtrack's as good as the first one. I really like the main theme to the other one. Like, so much so I had it on my iPod for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is exceptional. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I don't even really remember the first soundtrack, honestly.
Oh, that's fair. I was pretty cool. It just had its own style that played well with the city and the aesthetic of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that done by Ubisoft Montreal, or is that a different?
It's not Ubisoft, it's EA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought it was Ubisoft.
No. EA makes a Mirror's Edge.
That's
You
cool.
can find it on Origin.
Well, then, yeah, it's obviously a cross-platform. Then you're gonna get it on the computer if you get it.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
I probably would, just to see how it controls with the mouse via the...
Yeah,
Because even just
sure.
watching people play, I could tell they were playing with a joystick as opposed to the mouse. Because there's that dead zone when they stop and then have to turn the other way,
Yeah.
right? Instead of just being like... Jump from wall to wall, you can't hit me, bullets! I move faster than them, right? Like, that's... Yeah. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I am too.
I'm glad they're making a second one for sure. I kind of thought it was just gonna die off with the
Wow,
one.
it's been in development hell for quite a while, man. Or I don't know if it's been in hell, but it's been in development for quite a long time. And then it seemed to have been thrown on the back burner and just kind of disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
Like, they talked about it, they hinted at it. In Battlefield 3, there was a map where you go on the top of the building and Faith's red sneakers were on the corner.
Oh yeah.
And then when you walked up to it, you'd hear the theme song play in the background.
Oh really?
Yeah. That was years ago. Battlefield 3.
Right,
They've
right.
had a full game come out. 2 Battlefield games since then. And I'm like, well, fuck. And a Star Wars game
Yeah.
from the team.
And Battlefront. Yeah.
You know, like, fuck. It's been forever since I've been talking about that one. When did the first one come out? 2008?
It was like close to a launch for PS3. Even it was like a year or two after.
So it's right
after PS3.
Right there, bottom rack. Yeah, grab her up.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, let's see when the fuck that game comes out.
2008. You nailed it.
2008, nailed it. I'm so
Nailed
good.
it. Yeah, no, this is a good one. Oh, I didn't realize she had these tattoos
Yeah.
in the first one.
Yep.
That's cool.
They're called Faith 2s.
Faith twos.
They're what's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, she borrowed them from the lead in Far Cry 3.
Oh,
and
wow.
they give her powers, free running
Right,
powers.
right.
Yeah. Every time she upgrades, she gets a new tatau. That's a lie.
Of other EA characters on her arm.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about this one, Danny? I like it. Well, that's Danny for this week.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for your thoughts on that one, Danny.
One love, homie.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm just hoping that it doesn't flop, which I think it's gonna go under the radar like this one did.
Right.
It seems like with the jankiness of it, it's not really gonna make any waves. But I'll play it.
Well,
I'll
he
like
never
it.
used the word janky. The guys in the reviews said it controlled fine. I again think he just sucked. I think he is no Nick Danger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't no the dude 250, and I will outmaneuver him. But my expectations of the game are this. Storyline I'll probably whip through. But
Yeah.
then once they let me just fucking roll around that city and come up with my own, because there is that new mechanic where you can just make your own lines.
Yeah, make your own races.
You
yeah.
like hit a start point, and then you just do it, and then you hit a button, and it makes that end point, and then the rest of the online community can try their hand at that. I think that's where I'll find I spend a lot of my time, because I had a lot of fun just with the traversals of the game and free running
Yeah.
in and of itself. But that being said, that was like one of the few games at the time that did it in 2008. It was a cool new gameplay mechanic. I was like, fuck, I feel like a ninja. I can jump over this. I can roll under this bar. I can wall run in between buildings.
Mhm.
Since then, I played a bunch of games that do similar stuff.
Mhm.
Titanfall did free running pretty well. So did Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, and Advanced Warfighter. There's been a few games that have allowed me to do it. So it'll be interesting to see if it still holds the same kind of grasp that first one did for a while.
It seems like this is a little bit more in depth in the free running than like Black Ops is, though.
Sure, because they're more focused on combat.
Focused, yeah.
Whereas this one's totally flipped around.
Yeah. I want to see how hard the puzzles are, really. That's kind of what I'm more interested in. I feel like...
Oh, like the traversal puzzles? Trying to figure out how to
That's the thing. I don't know if they're going to be traversal puzzles.
They're all traversal puzzles.
Do you think, like... Well, I mean, you have to be able to, like, move things, like,
Not
hit
really.
buttons, move things around.
Never did that in the first game.
I know, but I want
That's
more...
That's not what that game has ever been. It's all about traversal and movement, and that is the puzzle. Figuring out how to get across and get around and how to get up things. Right?
But it's all painted red. Like, they tell you what to grab.
Sort of. The first game had parts where it was still kind of not that obvious.
Right.
You could see a building across the way and with a red ledge, and you're like, maybe I grab that, but it's for another section of another map. You don't know until you fuck around, right? I did die a bunch in that first game trying to figure out certain parts of it.
Yeah.
Right? And it is tricky to note that, like, oh, I can just jump up there, spring backwards, and grab that ledge, and then climb up from there. Like, take some trial and error, which I found to be kind of addicting.
I've always found the traversal in that game to be really well done.
You won't find any Uncharted style or Lara Croft style puzzles where you're gonna move this thing onto a weight and it's gonna open up a door or whatever, right? Like
but
weight onto a
like
pad.
getting up to like a crane and like hitting buttons, the crane moves the thing over so that I can like get back down and cross a way or whatever. That's
well that might be part of it. That seems very like that's part of a traversal puzzle.
Yeah, I guess but I don't know. I wanted something a little bit more in depth than that. But I mean, just because they do market pretty good when you're in like an enclosed area. I feel like having something that kind of makes you think about it a little bit is going to be what I'm looking for, especially in the traversal parts of it. And I mean, they are playing up that there is puzzles, so they can't be that.
Not
easy.
really. When did they say that?
It's always been part of the aspect of the game that there's going to be puzzles.
That's never been an aspect of the game. In one trailer, or anything, they never say the word puzzles. They never show any puzzles being done in any.
Well, the guy in the review that we just watched was talking about the puzzles.
The traversal puzzles of how to get up a side of a building.
Yeah.
Those were his exact words.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and there was not a single one of those puzzles in the first game, so they haven't always been about the puzzles. Like we just said that.
But like I guess it's just traversal, just getting through.
That's all it is, and that is a puzzle in and of itself. It's just a different style of puzzle than what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. I think you're thinking more gameplay mechanic style puzzle or typical gameplay, like having to move puzzles or sections of the environment to open up a new part of the map and things like that. Yeah. I don't think you'll get any of that in this game. You had none of it in the first one. Yeah. So I wouldn't expect it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think they are going to evolve on that was in the first one?
What are they going to evolve on?
Yeah.
The different... well, first of all, the open world aspect of it, I think, is an evolved form of the first one, because then you can have multiple lines and not just one in one section, right? It was a very sort of a linear single-player experience in the first one, where they had these direct lines, and they're like, this is where they want to go, and we'll have them figure it out. At this one, I'm assuming, because it's open world, you could take multiple routes to end up at the same path, right?
Right.
So it's a bit more free in the free running aspect, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
I could make my own kind of lines. And I don't think in this one it didn't look as obvious as that first one, because there were more colors in it, and it looked a little darker. The first one was so super whitewashed with very, very devoid of color that when you saw that color, you instantly knew. Mm-hmm. When I see the trailers and the gameplay footage in this, it doesn't look as punch you in the face obvious, which is nice to me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Time will tell when we finally get around to playing it, which won't take too long. Just got to get the bankrolls happening again. Spent a lot of money on games recently. Mm-hmm. Or always.
Yeah, I think this will be the June release, though. The one of the month.
This is the one of the month for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I could either see this or Star Ocean.
Yep.
Because I've been kind of itching for a new RPG for a bit. Fallout didn't hold me as much as long as I wanted to. Witcher 3, I shouldn't say that. I put a few hundred hours into the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Mirror's Edge. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm glad it's around. I'm glad it finally came to fruition and it didn't just get swept under the rug. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm gonna try and get it tonight. Get my hands on it. And,
Oh, cool.
See if we can play it. I guess we got a lot to do tonight, so maybe not. But
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I got the next few days off. Anyway, that's our episode for today. Mirror's Edge. If you played it, let us know what you think in the comments. If you haven't, let us know what you still think in the comments. If you got any suggestions for future topics, please hit us up. Nobody ever does. Just fucking do it. Yeah, as always, I'm the Dude 250. That's Aliens Exist. Danny Peel's not here this weekend, but we miss him and we love him. We'll see him soon.
we will.
Unless he's dead. And, yeah, give us a like, a subscribe, and we're the Dudepool Crew. From us to you, adios, motherfuckers.
See you guys.